What are the plans for the Mannion family for Thanksgiving?
For my family, I think we had a couple extended family coming into town.
Sean,
Thank you.
we'll all be rooting
Thank
for
you.
you.
Appreciate it.
Both dogs, the wife, all the neighbors.
Oh, thank you.
Keep up the good work.
Thanks. Sorry. No. My family for Thanksgiving probably have a couple extended family in from out of town. They'll probably do Thanksgiving dinner at our house, but unfortunately for me, I can't make it just because we got a game the next night. So I'll be hanging out with the team.
So hopefully Raul will prepare just as good as a home cooked meal for you then.
Oh no, he will for sure. Not to knock on my mom or nothing, but Raul will step it up for Thanksgiving.
Is there a tradition every year, or does he switch it up? What does he normally make?
It's hard to say. Rumor had it we won't be having turkey just because it'll make us all a little too sleepy. But I'm sure he'll give us something good.
Okay, Sean, we haven't had a chance to talk to you after last week. A game like that, easier or tougher to flush down the toilet for you?
For me, tougher. I think it's just the kind of thing where I know I can play better than that, and I think that makes it easier and harder at the same time. I think it makes it easier just because, I know those are mistakes that I can correct. But, it's kind of a double-edged sword because that's what also makes them so frustrating is because I know those are mistakes that I haven't made in the past and ones that I know better than to make.
I know that you're not going to call out your teammates, but Danny and Brent both said that while you're getting people are harping on you, 10 interceptions last 3 games, guys aren't winning one-on-one battles the way they were earlier in the season. I'm not going to call anybody out individually, but has it been tougher to get balls to guys? Have the holes gotten smaller over the past few weeks?
In some ways, and I think a lot of it, has to do with what defenses are doing to us. Every week is going to be a different challenge. So I think, as an offense, we have to adjust to that. And I know from my perspective, I have to be that much better. I have to be even more accurate to get guys the ball. I have to be sharper on my throws. I can't afford to leave balls a little bit inside where, early in the season I might have been able to get away with it. Obviously the last few weeks I haven't been able to. So I think for me, I need to step up and become more and more accurate and efficient with the football.
The test this week, Oregon, Brent said probably the best secondary in the Pac-12. Talk about that challenge. What kind of players do they have back there?
One thing I really noticed is they're fast and athletic. And they're going to cover a lot of ground out there. So, from my perspective, I got to be real accurate. I know, sometimes you can get away with being a little bit late on a throw or leaving a little inside or outside. But with these guys, they're so fast and cover so much ground in the secondary. I know for me, I got to be real sharp.
I know the receivers. Brandon talked about he loves going up against guys like Epo, could be a first rounder, even Terrence Mitchell. What about you as a quarterback? Do you enjoy seeing guys of that caliber to see where you're at?
Yeah, it's funny. It's different for me as a quarterback than it is, for Brandon. For Brandon, he's gonna be going up, one-on-one against someone. For me, I kind of see it as I'm going up against their whole defense. So it's a different challenge. I know that's one thing that I love about football is that, it takes physical skill, but almost more importantly is mental skill as well. And I know for me that's the challenge every week is to study a new opponent and have an idea what they're doing and making good decisions. So for me, I think it's the kind of thing where every week is a new challenge, and I think that's part of the reason why I love football so much is because it's a different thing every week. You got to be prepared for.
You talked about the total defense, not just the secondary. Mm-hmm. A lot of people talk about Oregon's offense, but their defense is really steady. Mm-hmm. Where do they pose the biggest challenges, or where are they strongest? Or maybe if you could go basically from the front to linebacker to secondary.
I think it's hard to single out one group. Just because as a defense, they do so many different things that involve all their players. I think with the speed and athleticism they have, they got a real strong secondary, and I think they got a good pass rush as well. I think those are two areas that I can kind of point to and say that they're pretty good at that. But like you said, all in all, they're real steady, real good in all areas.
You're never one to psych yourself out. That's something we pretty much talk about every week in interviews. But the way things have gone, 4 straight losses. Would a win in this game, would it mean more to you than a bowl game? Not to put down any bowl game, but would it mean more to you than a bowl game?
It would mean a lot. I think at this point it'd be hard to put it in perspective. I think it's the kind of thing where once the year's over, you might be able to look back at it. I know for us, we're trying to treat it just like any other game and not psych ourselves out about who we're playing.
Just want to play well.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah, that's exactly right. And I think for us, our attitude is if we play our best football, we can beat anyone. And I know that's the challenge every week is to go out and play our best football. And I think in the last few weeks we haven't been able to do that. So I think that's really the only focus for us is how well can we execute and how well can we perform on Saturday or Friday.
That's right. Last couple for me. You're not an Oregon native, but you've been a part of this rivalry now. This is gonna be your second time playing in it. Have you grown to appreciate it and embrace it?
Definitely. I think during the week and during the games, you don't notice as much the rivalry between Oregon and Oregon State. One thing that I noticed, though, is throughout the whole offseason when you're talking to people or hear about it, everyone seems to kind of be aligned with one school or the other. It's not the kind of thing where, in California there's so many schools or, maybe someone only likes the NFL or like college. One thing I've noticed, not so much this week, but in the offseason is that, if you were to ask people what team they're pulling for, usually everyone's aligned with one team or the other.
Banker said either you're a duck, you're a beaver, and some people are platypuses. I wasn't expecting that answer.
Yeah.
Last one. A guy that you, same position in, Kyle Kempt. He's been a scout team guy all year. This week he's got a tough task of trying to be Marcus Mariota. Mm-hmm. When you look at him, do you guys joke at him like, man, Kyle doesn't look anything like Marcus? What always happen like this week?
No, it's funny. I don't really get to see him play much in practice. I know when I was on the scout team, I think I'm a lot like Kyle, where I'm not real mobile either. So there was a time where I had to be Darren Thomas and on the scout team. So, he does a great job. I know he's a guy who works real hard and takes a lot of pride in what he does. So, I'm sure he's doing his best to give him a great look. And, hopefully I can catch a few of his clips. I want to see him on the move a little bit.
And he's one of those guys. He's from here. His brother played at Oregon as well. Has there been any talk amongst you guys as QBs about that? How ironic it is that he has to be a duck quarterback this week when his older brother.
Yeah, just like Big Bro. No, we haven't really brought it up. It's funny. Maybe that's something I should joke about, but it hasn't come up yet.